In this video, we're going to talk about why most relationships of romantic nature fail. Before we do that, guys, I know we love each other. I know I love you guys, and you guys leave me in the comments saying, Saeed, I love you, and I'm like, I love you too, and you know, it's like a big love fest going on here, right? But please show your love by hitting the notification bell beside the subscribe button so that every time I upload, you'll get a new video. So please do so now. It takes like 2 seconds. So here, 1, 2, you should have hit the notification bell by now. Right? Okay, so let's get on with it. Why is it that most relationships of romantic nature fail? This is pretty clear. I mean, the divorce rate, the enormous divorce rate in the United States, over 50%. It's showing you what's going on here. People are growing apart, they're growing unsatisfied, unhappy with each other, and ultimately they're leaving, you know. So 50% divorce rate, that's people who actually are actively saying, all right, we don't like each other no more, so let's part ways. I don't know, the other 50%, if I had to take a guess, just a wild guess, 30 to 40% of that other 50% that's not divorcing yet, that hasn't divorced, 30 to 40% probably not too happy with each other. Probably, in all likelihood, not too happy. So maybe we have the lucky 10% of all romantic relationships that actually do go well, and you know, the people involved in a relationship of any nature, if it's man, woman, man, woman, right? Love, we're talking about love relationships here that involve, you know, all what it is to be a human being, the sexual aspect, the security aspect, you know, building a family, etc., etc. Clearly, most relationships, it's safe to say that 90% of them end up failing or end up growing apart, or even worse, ending on bad note, like some mean shit is being said here and there, and you know, like a lot of relationships end up on bad terms, you know. It would be something if relationships end on like, hey, let's kind of be friends, and that's good, that's really good, you know, because I mean, people change and we change, right? Everything is always changing. But I do want to talk about this and go a little bit into the depth of the main cause of all these relationship issues. And I read this in a book a year or two ago, whenever I read that book. It's called The Celestine Prophecy. Really good book. Highly recommend it. You can listen to the audiobook. Just look it up on YouTube. Amazing book. I think I listened to the audiobook like 5 times. And in the book, there was a woman and a man. They were in the mountains up somewhere in South America. I can't remember exactly where. And they were doing like spiritual type work there, you know. And they fall in love. The man and the woman, they fall in love. And I mean, you can imagine, you have a woman here that is conscious, a man that is conscious. They're both doing their spiritual work. They're working on increasing their energy, connecting more with the spirit. And then they fall in love. That's a lot of energy that's being generated here, you see? So they start to kiss and make out, and then the wiser people that are around them, they tell them, hey, we see what's happening here, but it's best that you guys get away from each other for a little while. And the wisdom that they ended up carrying out is that what will happen if they do end up making love right there and then, and they'll get high off the energy, this love energy, for like a month, and after that they will grow to be needy of that love from one another, and they would soon and quickly forget the source of that love, you see. And that's a lot of wisdom. So I think in the book they ended up, it's been a while, but I think they ended up growing apart. They as much as they wanted to just make love right there and there in the moment, and they did make out, but they didn't carry out the rest of the love dance, if you will. They did end up growing apart for a little while, and then when they both felt like their connection with source energy, with spirit, was so powerful and strong, that's when they got together. And I think they ended up basically, I mean, in the book it doesn't say like what happened after, but the implication is they got together and they lived happily ever after, if you will, okay? But they didn't actually make love. They didn't actually go ahead with it until they both knew, they listened to the advice of the wiser people that were around them, until they both knew that, you know, I know what my connection is. My connection to source energy is so strong. Your connection to source energy is so strong. Now we can afford to make love. We can afford to be in a loving relationship, because we're not gonna grow needy for that love from one another. Because as you can imagine, you know, the energy when two people are in love with each other, the energy is so strong, and it's so hypnotic, and it reminds you of who you are. So for a lot of people, that relationship becomes like a safe place, heaven, from the grueling and grindy nature of everyday life, you see, because you don't find too much love in everyday life. You just don't. It's not that love is not the priority. The priority is how can we make more material things, and how can we be more productive as a society. Now, love is not the priority. So what happens, you get in, you fall in love with someone, and then it feels so good. This love, you know, it's like stumbling upon psychedelics for the first time. You know, for most people haven't tried psychedelics, so to them that love relationship is like stumbling upon psychedelics for the first time. It's like, whoa, what is this warm, fuzzy feeling? Oh my God. Oh, I didn't know such a feeling exists in this world, in this grueling, grindy world, right? So, what ends up happening is after the initial honeymoon phase, which lasts whatever, depending on the relationship. For some people, that initial honeymoon can last for a year, for 2 years. What ends up happening is the addiction to the affection of the other person takes hold in either one of the two people in the relationship, or in both people in the relationship. And that's a big problem, because one person usually ends up in a relationship becoming needy of someone else's affection. And that's not good news for anybody in the relationship, because believe me, nobody wants to be the source of love. Trust me, as much as we think we want to be the source of love, nobody wants to be the source of love for someone else in a sort of a romantic way. Maybe a mother baby is a different story. And nobody wants to feel like they need love from someone else. Nobody wants to do that, because deep down, intuitively, we know we are love. Even if we can't say it in a rational mind, if we can't put it into words here, intuitively we know who we are. Deep down, we know who we are. And that's a bad place to be in. And that's when things start to go downhill. When the people forget, the people in a relationship, one or both, often both, forget the source of the experience, the initial honeymoon, that initial phase of, oh, I love you, kiss me more, please, make love to me, you know? After that initial phase, they quickly adapt. Humans are adaptable, right? And then they forget, like that's why philosophy helps with these things, because philosophy is about questioning. So you start to question, what is this feeling that we're experiencing? What is this? I feel great love for you and affection, and you feel great love and affection. I just want to, like, you know, kiss you, and just, you know, I can't get enough of you, and like, I just want to taste you all day, and you know, what is that? And you ask yourself, what is that feeling? What is that warm, fuzzy thing here? What? I mean, I don't feel like I am, you know, you fall. It's like you're high, you're literally high of the oxytocin, even chemically, biochemically. You're hijacked by oxytocin. That's the love hormone. And then when you ask yourself, what is that source? You realize you are that source. You are it, baby. That is the source energy. That is cosmic consciousness, cosmic energy, cosmic love, cosmic beauty, pure awareness. That's it. It's a very benevolent God, which is, you know, that's the other term for it, is a very benevolent consciousness. Thank goodness. Imagine our consciousnesses were, which we are, all of it. Imagine it was benevolent. Imagine it was actually like evil. Oh boy, this wouldn't be good, because we would all be naturally evil. But we're all naturally benevolent. We're all naturally good. We're all naturally givers, and because that's it. That's it. That's the truth of the matter. Call it cosmic love, cosmic beauty, pure awareness, consciousness. It's very benevolent. So then you realize that that's the source of it. And what we're experiencing here is the dance of yin and yang, the dance of masculine and feminine. And mind you, masculine and feminine is even in same-sex relationships. That dynamic exists, masculine and feminine. So you realize that we're carrying out this masculine feminine dance of nature, and we're both in love. Literally, we are in love because we are love. So you're resting in who you are, and you coming together with another person come to an agreement that, hey, we can both rest in who we are, which is the place in us that is love. Of course, we mistake this for this person is the cause of love for me. This person is the source of love. And that's when neediness happens, and people become needy to each other's affections. And you didn't tell me I love you today, and you only kissed me once, and usually you give me like 3 kisses, but what's happening? You only kissed me once today. What's going on here? And then, you know, you text your sweetheart like, hey, you know, where are you? Are you coming home? It's like, and you get suspicious, you get jealous, and all these negative feelings come because you fear losing something. See, there's fear, there's the element of fear, because you're like, you're my source of love. Without you, I can't experience this love, and this world will destroy me. And this, you know, it's a very negative and grueling and grindy world, and you're my love. And with you, I can experience warmth and fuzziness, and you see, and then you fear losing that, and then that's where jealousy happens, and that's where you know, you get all suspicious and all needy. And whenever one person in the relationship gets needy, the other is gonna get annoyed naturally, because we all know that we should all rest in this place in love that is within us and share the experience together, as opposed to look for it in somebody else as the source of it. Okay, so yeah, that's why most relationships end up not working out, and not even in a good way, because, you know, a lot of relationships, they end up on bad terms, and they end up on, like, you know, suspicion, and hurtful words are often said, because this person that said the hurtful words just completely forgot who they really are, and they need a reminder. And I don't know how they're gonna get that reminder. They can go and start meditating, they can go out to nature and maybe do psychedelics, but then once you know who you are and you rest in that place, and you fully rest in that place, not even partially, fully, that's detachment. That's the Buddha's second noble truth. Attachment's the cause of suffering. We often mistake love and attachment. That's what it is. It starts off, hey, we're in love, and then it quickly turns into an attachment. But you see, when you know who you are, you're not attached to anybody giving you love. You are love. You are love. You are it. How, a candle flame isn't trying to get fire from somebody else. It is fire. Think of like a fire. A fire isn't trying to like get fire from somebody. Fire is fire. Light is light. And so love is love, and you are it. You are it, baby. You are it. Okay? And yeah, that's why in the Celestine prophecy, the people who know about this, the ones with the open third eye, they tell the guy, the man and the woman who are in love, they tell them, hey, just back off a little bit here. You guys are clearly a good match, and this is gonna like be amazing. But if you do it now, if you make love now, you're gonna enjoy a beautiful honeymoon, and then you're gonna grow needy to each other. And because they recognize that both still need to work on connecting to who they are, connecting more to source, so that when they come together, they both understand what's happening here. They both understand that, hey, we are both love, and we're just kind of like sharing the experience of love. You're not my source, I'm not your source, and we can just experience this experience together. The experience of being in love, being who we really truly are. So hopefully that sheds some light on, I'm sure, your previous mishaps, or even future mishaps if they do occur, and I hope they don't. Let's drink up to the well-being and prosperity of all lovers all around the world, and hopefully you don't have a future mishap if you keep this in mind. And sometimes we also grow apart because we change, right? So that's, you gotta keep that in mind as well. The present moment is changing moment to moment. The most important thing is you keep your connection to source energy. You keep your connection to cosmic love, which is who you are. And the way you do that is you treat yourself well. You go out to nature. You treat your body like a temple. Do psychedelics in a very supervised, ceremonial ways if you want to experience this cosmic love right away. But you don't have to. You can do meditations, go for retreats, spend extended periods of time in nature, and just be around people who have that type of vibe, have that understanding, and they'll sort of bring you up to that understanding. And just keep doing what you're doing and keep connecting more and more and more and more, and this all will make sense to you even more. So that's it, guys. If you are interested in all this stuff and more, check out 7 Pillars of Enlightenment. It's like a mini 12-page, whatever, 11, 12 pages that I wrote about this game that we're playing here, the game of enlightenment, the game of bringing out the light within us, the love within us. And to me, those are the 7 pillars that I came up with to sort of keep me on this path and keep me aware and conscious of all these things. Okay, so you can download it. It's for free. You can download it in the description or in the comments. 7 Pillars of Enlightenment. Other than that, I do love you guys, and because we are love, and we're resting in love, and we're sharing the experience of love because we are one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. Until next time, may the force be with you.